The polling that you showed earlier, combining people who thought crime is an extreme problem or crime is a moderate problem, was 91%.
Yeah,
so that is,
I totally agree.
So 91% of people who live in a jurisdiction think it's a moderate or an extreme problem. This is not a figment of anyone's imagination. This is not mass hysteria. This isn't, some, collective hallucination. It's real. People who live there know they aren't safe.
That's Scott Jennings reminding CNN's audience that Trump's federal crime crackdown in D.C. is connecting with the public in a way Democrats can't spin. No matter how much they try to gaslight people with cooked up stats, the disconnect between reality and their narrative couldn't be clearer. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like Democrats are choking on their own talking points as Trump's tough on crime play in DC proves wildly popular because people aren't buying the crime is down line when they can see what's happening on their own streets. Jennings cuts right through that illusion, and CNN's panel can't quite process it. Here's Scott Jennings going at it with a liberal guest pushing the Democrats' favorite trick of don't believe your lying eyes, believe our skewed data.
Well, first of all, the homicide rate in Washington, D.C. is very high compared to other major cities and other world capitals. So to continue to say crime is down, I think you're giving people a false sense of the fact that it is, in fact, dangerous in Washington, D.C. But I tried to tell you last night, this issue with the Doge kid, Ed, people are pissed about this. And it hammered home for a lot of Republicans the fact that Washington, D.C. is violent. There's roving street gangs. There's lots of carjackings. And, this guy worked in the White House. He was known to a lot of senior government officials. And I told you last night it had set off a firestorm in the Republican Party. And this is the result.
Carjackings are down in Washington, D.C., 37%. 37%.
From here to here?
Whether 37% is a significant number.
It's not safe.
It's just math, right? It's just math. 37% drop is a significant drop. Here's the deal. If the president is doing this because someone that he knows unfortunately got assaulted, and then he can use that as an excuse to do what he likes to do, which is ratchet things up and use authoritarian measures to show force and take things over. And that's what he's getting at. But the reality is that things in terms of crime are trending down in Washington, D.C. It's just math. We didn't cook it up in a leftist socialist bubble. It's just math, guys.
What's authoritarian about having law enforcement?
It's true that crime is...
This is the classic Democrat move. Hide behind cherry-picked stats and hope people ignore the reality around them. But Jennings is absolutely right. People in D.C. feel unsafe, and that matters more than some incomplete FBI spreadsheet. I mean, we know why the numbers are worthless. The National Incident-Based Reporting System Biden's DOJ pushed lets big blue cities like New York and LA skip reporting altogether. Missing data from the most violent places magically produces declines on paper, while carjackings, shootings, and assaults spike in real life. Trump's crackdown isn't just a headline, it's visible action. National Guard on the streets, FBI agents busting up gangs, and zero tolerance for repeat offenders. That's the kind of decisive leadership Democrats can't match. Here's CNN's own guest pointing out how tone-deaf the Democrats' just look at the stats messaging really is.
What's striking is that National Democrats are not following Mayor Bowser's lead on this, and that National Democrats have been insisting, just look at the statistics. We have 30-year low, violent crime. Whereas Mayor Bowser is talking about, hey, we need to get 500 more police officers on the streets. We'd like the federal government to help us rebuild our jail. She's talking about some of the reforms she did to make it so accused violent offenders don't get out of jail pre-trial. So there is this disconnect, and I've talked to Democratic strategists today that think that National Democrats saying, look at the statistics is sort of a tone-deaf way to react.
And it's very much, isn't this the exact same problem that Democrats had last year? Look at the statistics. We promise you the economy is great, while people are going, it doesn't feel great to me. That feels like a lot of this conversation around crime, that you can point to statistics all day long that say, hey, DC is safer this year than it was last year. But do people feel safe? Bottom line, if they don't, they may be more okay with something that would otherwise be considered extraordinary.
You know, when even CNN guests start comparing Democrats' crime spin to their economy gaslighting, it's apparent the narrative is crumbling. I mean, this is exactly the problem. National Democrats think they can soothe people with percentages while residents in their own capital city are afraid to walk 3 blocks at night. It's the same post-COVID expert class arrogance that tanked trust in the first place. Crime down compared to last year still means violent crime is way above pre-Biden levels, and people see it every day. Trump's DC operation cuts through that by delivering immediate visible results. No bail reform excuses, no sanctuary city protections, just law and order. That's why it's resonating and why other Democrat-run cities should be worried they're next. But let me know what you think. Should Trump take this same federal crime crackdown to other Democrat-run cities? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye.